My name is Thomas Reed, and 6 months ago my wife, Elena, died in a car accident. We were married for 8 years. She was my everything, calm, sharp, and effortlessly kind. I used to joke that her laugh could fix broken things. I live in a house filled with broken things. Elena died on our anniversary. She went out to grab a bottle of wine. A semi-truck lost control on the highway. They told me it was instant. No pain. I never got to say goodbye. After the funeral, I couldn't bring myself to change anything in the house. Her coat still hung by the door. Her toothbrush sat in the cup next to mine. Her phone was in the drawer of her bedside table, turned off and untouched since the day she died. I kept paying the bill, though. I didn't have the heart to disconnect it. Maybe that was a mistake. It was 3:17 a.m. I woke to the sound of my personal phone vibrating on the nightstand. The screen lit up the room in pale blue. Caller ID, Elena. 3:17 a.m. At first, I thought I was dreaming. Or maybe I had accidentally saved someone else under her name. But no, it was her number. I knew it by heart. My blood ran cold. I let it ring 3 times. Then it stopped. No voicemail. No text, just silence. I sat up for the rest of the night, phone in hand, barely breathing. The next morning, I went to the cell provider's office. The clerk typed in the number, frowning as she scanned the screen. Still active, she said. No incoming or outgoing calls listed for the past week. Later that night, I placed both phones side by side, mine and Elena's. Hers still powered off, still untouched. I fell asleep watching them. And again, 3:17 a.m., my phone lit up. Caller ID, Elena. 3 rings, then silence. This time I answered it. Hello? No reply at first, just static. Then I heard it. Soft breathing, like someone standing just beyond the line. The sound of someone trying to speak. Elena? I whispered. A pause. Then, Tommy, my heart stopped. She was the only one who ever called me that. My throat tightened. My whole body shook. Is that you? I asked again. But the line had already gone dead. I dropped the phone and just stared into the darkness. I knew that voice. That wasn't a recording. That wasn't my mind playing tricks. It was her. But how? I didn't sleep at all that night. After the call ended, I sat in the dark until sunrise, replaying her voice in my head. Tommy, it was Elena. Not a voicemail, not a recording. It was her, speaking like she always did, soft, warm, with just a trace of laughter behind the syllables. But the longer I thought about it, the more something about it unsettled me. Her voice was just a little too slow, a little too distant, like it had traveled a long, long way to reach me. That morning I opened her old phone. It was still powered off, no charge, no activity. But something odd caught my eye. Her last dialed number was mine. I stared at it for minutes. My hands were trembling. She had called me. Or someone, something, had used her number to reach out. I told myself it had to be a glitch. Maybe some telecom freak occurrence. But the doubt didn't last long. That night, she called again. I answered on the first ring. Elena, please, is that really you? This time there was no static, just breathing. And then her voice, clearer now. It's cold here. Tommy, I sat up straight. Where are you? I don't know it. I tried to come back, but the doors are all locked. I was shaking uncontrollably. Doors? What doors? She didn't answer that. Instead, she said something that chilled me to the core. Don't let them in, Tommy, no matter what. Click. The call ended. I didn't know what to think. Who was them? And why did she sound so terrified? The next day, I searched online for anything that could explain what was happening. I found message boards, paranormal sites, people claiming their loved ones had contacted them through electronics after death, TVs, radios, phones. Most were easily dismissed. Grief does strange things to the mind. But a few posts chilled me. One person wrote, if they call more than 3 times, they aren't calling alone. Another, the voice might sound like your loved one, but it's not always them. I shut the laptop and stared at the wall. Elena had called me 3 times now. That night, I tried not to sleep. I kept every light on in the house. Her phone sat in front of me on the table, dead, still untouched. But mine rang again, 3:17 a.m. I didn't answer it this time. And that was the night the knocking started. I didn't move for a while. The knocking at the front door was slow, deliberate. 3 slow pounds, then silence. I glanced at the time, 3:17 a.m., exactly the same as the calls. For a moment, I thought maybe I was imagining it, but then it came again. Thump. Thump, thump. Not loud, not violent, just Wrong. Like someone was pretending to know how to knock like a human. I didn't answer. I didn't even look through the peephole. I just stood there frozen, heart racing. Then my phone vibrated again. Incoming call, Elena. I backed away from the door slowly and answered the call with a shaking hand. Elena, please, what's happening? Her voice came through, clearer than ever. I told you not to let them in, Tommy. Who's them? They come through broken things. Broken hearts, broken signals, broken promises. The knocking turned into scratching, like fingernails on wood. You have to let me go, Tommy. My breath caught. What? You're keeping me here. Every night you wait. Every night I try to warn you. But they're closer now. Then her voice changed. It cracked, like glass about to shatter. They're using me. And then the call dropped. The knocking didn't return that night, nor did the calls. But I didn't sleep. I sat in the hallway with every light on, her phone in my lap. By morning, the scratches on the door were gone. But I knew they had been there. I started thinking back about the last few weeks before she died. The little things, the way she had started acting strange, talking in her sleep, saying weird things like, "Don't answer it if it rings at night." I thought she was dreaming. But what if she knew something was coming? What if something had followed her back? I dug into her things that day. Letters, journals, her laptop. Most of it was normal. Until I found a folder on her computer labeled simply, "Do not open." Inside were voice memos, dozens of them, all recorded late at night. And in every single one was her voice, talking to someone I couldn't hear. "I told you to stop calling me. No, I won't let you in. I'm not yours." The last memo was dated the night before she died. Her voice was frantic. "Tommy doesn't know. I'm trying to protect him. Please, stop using my voice. You can't come through me." That was the last recording. I don't know how long I sat there after listening. I cried. Not because I was scared, but because I realized she'd been fighting this thing alone. Whatever it was, it had started before the crash, and now it was using her voice to reach me, to get closer. I had to do something. After listening to those recordings, I knew I couldn't stay in the house anymore. Whatever this was, it wasn't bound by distance, but I still had to try. I packed a bag and drove to the last place Elena had been before the accident, Gray Hollow Ridge, a sharp bend near a cliffside highway where she'd supposedly lost control of the car. The guardrail was still broken. Flowers, faded photos, and candles sat beside the road. Someone had left a note that read, "I still hear your voice." I stood there for a long time, heart thudding. Something wasn't right. The air felt thin, like the world wasn't fully there. And then I saw it. A single phone cable running along the edge of the cliff, cut ragged. It trailed down toward the trees below, as if reaching out from the earth itself. I didn't know what I was looking for. But my gut told me I needed help. Someone who could explain what was happening. That's when I found her. Margot Delaney, a spiritual medium people on a forum had sworn by. She was older, calm, and had this strange stillness about her, like the world didn't rush her anymore. I told her everything. She didn't laugh. She didn't doubt me. She just asked one question. "Has she said your name exactly 3 times during the calls?" I nodded slowly. "Yes, every time." Margot's face paled. "Then we have little time." She explained that sometimes spirits linger for a reason. Unfinished business. Guilt, pain. But sometimes other things latch onto that energy. Mimics, she called them. Echoes from the other side that take the shape of people we love. And when they say your name 3 times, they're not calling you. They're marking you. They need a doorway. A name spoken enough times becomes an invitation. I couldn't breathe. "You must not answer again," she said. "Not if it rings at 3:17. "Why 3:17? I asked. She looked me in the eye. "Because that's when she died." That night I stayed at Margot's place. She performed a cleansing ritual with sage, salt, and chants I didn't understand. But I could feel something moving, like a presence pulling away from me, angry. At 3:17 a.m., her antique rotary phone rang. Not my cell. Not Elena's. Margot's. She looked at me, terrified. "Don't move." She answered it herself. "You are not welcome here. Silence." Then, a voice came through the receiver. Not Elena's. Not even close. It hissed. "You've said his name 3 times. He is ours now." The line went dead, and the house went cold. I left before sunrise. I had to end this. If I was marked, then maybe I had to speak to Elena directly. Or what was left of her. Margot warned me. If you hear her voice again, make sure it's her. Ask her something only she'd know. And if she can't answer, then it's not her, I whispered. And if it's not her, then hang up, or it'll come through. I left Margot's house with her words echoing in my ears. If it's not her, hang up. I drove aimlessly, not knowing where to go. Home didn't feel safe. Nowhere did. But deep down, I knew where I had to return. The crash site. I drove back to Grey Hollow Ridge just before midnight. Parked on the shoulder, killed the engine. I brought her phone with me, the same one that kept ringing, that held all the voicemails and recordings. The night was quiet. No cars, no wind. Just silence until 3:17 a.m. The phone rang. Incoming call, Elena. I answered. Elena? I said. Silence. Then the voice. Soft. Gentle. Familiar. Tommy, it's me. My eyes stung. Where are you? I'm close. So close! I just want to come home. Then tell me, I whispered. What song played during our first dance at the wedding? Silence too long. Then something answered. We never danced, Tommy. You never gave me that chance. My blood turned to ice. Because that was a lie. We did dance. In our living room, to her favorite song. She sang it to me. You're not her, I whispered. The voice changed. The softness vanished. It hissed through the speaker. Then why do you keep answering? I ended the call, and that's when it appeared. A figure, standing in the middle of the road just ahead of my car. It looked like her. Same hair, same dress she was buried in, but the face, there was nothing behind the eyes. Just blackness. She, or it, lifted her hand and pointed at me. I floored the gas. Drove through it, nothing there, just mist and fear. I didn't stop until I reached the church where we got married. I ran inside, dropped to my knees, and begged, not to God, to her. Elena, if you're still out there, I'm sorry. I love you, and I let you go. The air grew warm, then still, and for the first time since the call started, the phone stayed silent. It's been 6 nights since that last call. 6 nights of silence. No ringing, no whispers, no figures in the road. Part of me wanted to believe it was over, that I'd passed some final test, that whatever was pretending to be Elena had finally let go. But deep down I knew better. It wasn't done. It was waiting. On the 7th night I fell asleep on the couch, phone still in hand. At exactly 3:17 a.m. the screen lit up again. Unknown caller. No name this time. No contact photo. Just the hum of fate staring back at me. I didn't want to answer. Every part of me screamed no, but my thumb moved. The call connected before I touched it. Thomas. The voice was different. Weaker. Almost sad. I didn't speak. I waited. You set me free. It sounded like her. Exactly like her. I tried to come back, she whispered. But something else came through instead. My throat tightened. Was it ever really you? I asked. Silence. Then, in the beginning, yes, but only for a moment. What was the song? I asked. No hesitation this time. At Last, by Etta James. You sang it with me even though you were off key. I smiled. Tears fell freely now. You remember I said always, she said, but I'm not alone here anymore. Others want to follow. Can they? I asked. Only if you let them, she said. Then how do I stop it? I asked. The voice grew faint. Bury the phone. Deep, where I died, where the signal can't reach. And if I don't, then they'll keep calling. Until you answer. At dawn, I drove back to Grey Hollow Ridge. Dug a shallow grave in the soil beneath the broken guardrail. I dropped the phone inside. It buzzed once, then went silent, and stayed that way. I covered the hole, sat there in the dirt as the sun rose over the trees, and for the first time in weeks, I didn't feel haunted. I just felt hollow. It's been a year since then. No more calls, no more voices. I've started to live again, slowly, painfully. But some nights just before I drift off, I dream of the phone ringing again. Not from the earth, but from somewhere closer. And sometimes I wake up with her name in my mouth, 3 times, just like before.